people. My friend who taught electronics, I mean, he could practically just count in binary without even thinking about it, you know, because they use it so much. Yeah, they use it all the time. They really use it a lot more than we do. And so, like, some of the 120 classes won't teach people how to do the binary conversions, but I think it's really important because to me it's like foundational knowledge so that you understand. Yeah, it's just important. To me it's important. Yeah, because we just, you know, how are you going to understand all these different talks about bits if they don't? All right, I'm finally doing the Zoom meeting. Guys, yell at me when I forget. Okay, let's do the other side. Everybody's making great progress on that first side. Now, if I want to convert from a decimal number to binary, there's, again, a bunch of different ways to do it. Like I said, I always start with the simplest, easiest thing I can remember, which is writing down those powers of 2. And then I've got all that written down for my poor brain. And then I've got this number, so like 21. So with my number 21, I need to decide what is the leftmost column that I need to put a 1 in for this. So here I've got this number 21. I'm going to start with 64. Does 64 go into 21? I was thinking like Beverly Hillbillies. Jethro, you know what it goes into? Does it, you guys ever watch Beverly Hillbillies? You need to watch Beverly Hillbillies. So you are right, it does not. What's the first column value that goes into 21? 2. The what? I heard it.
The 2.
No, what's the largest one?
16.
16.
Oh.
So I'm going to turn a 1 on the 16. It says it right here. 16 is the leftmost column. It's like, where's there?
I know, that's cheating.
I know, it's great. Okay, so I'm going to put, not cheating, I don't mean that. So I'm going to put this 16 down, but now I need to eliminate 16 from the number I am converting. So I have 5 left. So what should I do with that 8's column?
0.
A 0, because I don't need it. What about the 4's column?
1.
Put a 1, because I do need it.
0.
And how much is that going to leave left to convert?
1. So you got
1.
0 and
0 and 1, perfect.
Now, what if, I mean, okay, I see what you're saying, but at times there could be several different, you know, if you have, okay, say you have 6. Never mind.
Good. So I could say decimal 21 is equivalent to binary 10101. Because they're not the same exactly, they're in different numbering systems, but they're equivalent. All right, what about this one? What about decimal 14? What's the first bit I would turn on? 8. What would that leave me? 6. And so what would be the next bit I would turn on? 4. And then what would that leave me? 2.
And then 0.
So yep. So decimal 14 would be equivalent to, get this PowerPoint there with us, 1110. So good job. Do what?
At least it's step by step, but it's probably annoying to click.
It is. I shouldn't have made it step by step like that. Sometimes I'm like, why did I do this? I don't know about that. Okay, what about decimal 36? What's the first bit I would turn on? 32. And then what would that leave me? What would that leave me? 4. So I would turn on the 4 bit.
I do know how to add.
You guys are doing so good. It's hard to add out loud. I can't do math on the board. It's just a thing. So it's hard for me. All right, so perfect. Decimal 36 is equivalent to binary 100100. Now, one question that I have before I turn this off. What is the biggest decimal number that I could have with these 8 bits. If I had 11111 all the way across, what would that be? 255. So what if I needed to store a number that was bigger than that? I'd have to have more bits. So one place that matters a lot that you guys might remember is a few years ago. Do you remember when Windows updated from 32-bit to 64-bit? This is why, because we went from 32 bits that were used for all of the numbers for like memory locations and hard drive locations and things like that. And we doubled it, blew it out of the water to 64 bits. So that's why with Windows 10 machines, you guys can have, you know, gig after gig of RAM and not have to worry about it. Because with a 32-bit machine, you would always have 4 gigs.
For memory, is it like 128?
It's very large, yeah, 128 terabytes or something. It's very big. So 64 bits was nice. So that's what that meant. Okay, take a few minutes to finish both sides and make sure that you are clear. Yeah, both columns.
Well, it depends on what math some people might disagree with you then.
He's taking that fuzzy math.
So I was trying to like put up 1, 1, 1 would be 3. I don't know how my brain works like this. Like just trying. Imagine it's like 130. Honestly.
Wait, so now here's one.
That might actually be the more compact way to do it. I mean, technically,
Yeah, I'm putting in numbers that it would equal to the one above it, and then adding it to it.
oh, you're using a 9.
You're on it. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, you did. So what did you do? 36 plus 6 plus 22 minus 2. That's probably the most pretty way to explain it. I mean, that's all programming.
That's what you guys do this, because that's all going together.
Yeah, I just got done with that. Plus,
I was like, oh, it's on here.
well, yeah, and then we were about 16, yes, 512, and then you're back to 724. So you should have this explain 131. That's right. His answer is probably right.
For one
For containing space, still. I need to double check the math.
Yeah.
Weird.
It probably is. Get out of here.
Oh, that's 120.
Yeah, I did it wrong last.
Okay.
So what do you mean you were right?
We were-
Good.
Were you in that?
I mean, you're right on like the 99. I'll take the one. I'll take the Wait, that girl.
Yeah. I was close to that. You have to. Zero is. Yeah, you have to retrain your brain to count.
Okay, so then that's easier.
It's still going on. No, you were told the only time to try this.
No, he has got, I mean, that's 4 months.
Oh, a lot of people. This started. Yeah.
So that's
Yes. It started in 2016. And we opened.
37. Oh, sorry, I'm thinking of stuff.
Let me look at the most famous one.
I raced there. Just kind of skip it.
These guys. They're fantastic. They're running their own truck. We still got years ago.
I know.
You had it right.
Well, I thought
Yeah, that's another thing.
and
Yeah, so I said, you have to call for certain things, you have to find.
I'm tired. I better get all done. Hey, let me bring my calculator. You did do this.
Because you might want to check to see if you got them right. I'm not going to ask you to turn them in. So come with me and let's open the Windows calculator.
I haven't finished my update.
That's all right. You can look at the calculator and go back. Okay, so come look at the calculator with me.
Okay.
And everybody's like, I know about the calculator.
Oh, I know.
One interesting thing about the calculator is it's one of the apps on Windows that size is not changeable. Why do you think that is?
I don't know, it's changeable on my computer.
Can you expand it at home? You've got that fancy one.
I guess because it's supposed to look like an actual phone calculator.
Yeah, and I think they wanted all their buttons to be in the right place and with
I
a
don't know if it's Windows 10 Pro, but
Yeah.
Mine looks like a touchscreen calculator.
yeah, with UWP then it'll float around a lot better than with the old Windows. Well, so this isn't giving us any places to do binary, right? No, I can do, the view I want is programmer. So change your view to programmer. Now, when you're looking at the programmer view,
How did you switch your
view, programmer,
Oh.
change to your programmer view. Now, if I have a number, 1, 2, 3, I can click this radio button and convert it to binary. And then I can click the radio button and convert it back to decimal if I want to. If I want to enter a binary number to start with, there's my clear. I can just click on binary and then I can actually just type in the number. Notice that when you're clicked on binary, the calculator only gives you the 1s and 0s, so it doesn't let you type in anything bad. So what's hex? Hexadecimal. And hexadecimal, notice, remember I said binary is really big, takes up a lot of space. Hexadecimal is base 16. So it's like the opposite. It compresses everything down and we can fit really large numbers in very small number of characters. So some utilities use hexadecimal format to store data. What about OCT? Oct, what would that be?
It only has up to 8.
8, and it's octal, and it's 8-bit, and it's not used very often. There are some systems that use it, but it's not used as often as binary and hexadecimal. So you can check all of your answers with the calculator if you want, because they're all here. So our programmer calculator gives us all of those wonderful capabilities. I'm not really sure. We need to find something that tells us.
You might need to switch to binary. It might be set for ops. So I don't know if those numbers change.
Does it change? Yeah, it's like it's the 64-bit and something. I'm not sure what that is. We'll have to do some research because I think they've added that. recently, but we'll check. But, so I don't know what those are, but I know we can use it for doing all of our conversions. Okay, so let's do some challenges here. We've got some people that are binary wizards. Are they going to beat the rest of you in the binary game? Let's check. Binary game is the last link in this binary information page on Canvas. Now, people up here in the front could hear me. The binary game keeps getting blocked or like Cisco makes people not be able to play it. So this binary game is kind of not as good as the old ones. If you get home and search for one, you can find a better one, but they were blocked. So let's click start game. So the way this works is we have our 8 bits here, and over here we have the answer. So right now it's set to 2, so I would need to make my 8 bits equal this answer. So I'll turn on the 2-bit, and so it's sort of like, you know, one of those games where things disappear. Now I need to make this one 18, so I'll tap my 16 and my 2, 28, 24, 28, and then this one has the binary value already supplied and question marks here. So for this kind, I have to tap and enter the answer. So I would have 1, 3, 7.
How did you get the calculator?
You have to click the little question marks.
Oh.
So that's kind of bad. The old Cisco one, you could just enter your answer right there. And this one kind of takes, but it does keep the number right up here so you can see it, but you can't, you don't see your blocks filling up the screen as well. Okay, so my score from getting those is 55. I'm going to give you a couple minutes to practice, and then we're going to have a competition to see who can get the highest score in a certain amount of time.
I didn't get any of them. No, I didn't get any of them. It won't let me under the calculator.
I think you
And guys, if you're not seeing week 2 in Canvas, you need to go back to week 1 and click those items that say you have to complete them.
I don't think you can back out of the calculator. Use the like look through it and see the numbers.
Everybody's getting some good practice. I'll give you a couple more minutes. Okay, let's stop and we're gonna get in there again and have everybody start out with 0 points. So we can have our competition. For our competition, I'm gonna make it more
I got stuck on one.
Really?
Take it out. Are you ready?
Now,
You're the same level.
if you get killed or whatever you want to call it, and you have a really high score, let me know. I don't know which this one, if we can see it after it's mad at you, so we'll see how it goes. If we can't tell, we'll try our best. So if you get a really high score,
Don't get
I'll just
started.
kind of watch it to try to catch them in case it goes away. All right, we are ready, set, go.
What did we do?
Restarting.
Contest, go.
I don't know how to restart it.
I hit the refresh button at the same time. It didn't change the score. We can start game.
Oh, yeah, it didn't change my score either.
You have to hit, you have to refresh your
Go
game.
back to that other screen and hit refresh. Let me cancel so everybody can do that. Yeah, refresh on that start screen.
Another practice round.
Yeah, practice
All right.
it. We didn't know what it would do.
At the end
Now
of
we know.
So hit refresh. And then.
Okay, go back to that main screen, the menu screen, and hit refresh.
You have to refresh and wait.
So it'll give you a new score.
All right.
Are you ready?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, go.
Oh.
Just start again. So I see a 385. That's pretty high. Okay, we're down to 10 seconds. If you're under 1,000, let's go ahead and close out because you got beat. Now let's see our 1,000 errors here. 1,700. What do you got?
Is it stop?
Yeah, it's not.
Okay. Got 1,700 over here.
Ooh. Got 1,800 over here.
I got 1,333.
I still think I
He's
got
got
1,800.
I got 1,333.
What do you have?
1,000.
No, him. We said
1,200.
okay.
I beat you.
18.
I think he beats me by like 13 or something.
Come back here and see their scores. Let's see who we got.
What'd you get?
18. He's got 1869.
Yeah, you beat me by 12.
What do you have? Oh, yeah, you got it.
Alex here?
1797?
How is that more than?
Yeah, we have
18?
18 now.
They have 18.
18. So you got it?
No, he's got it. He beat me
He's got
by 12.
Nice. All right, if I got the right one. Okay, so I have this awesome prize.
Ooh.
I don't know how I got it, but it's just.
Oh, it's actually really cool.
Cute little poster. Baby poster. Yay, good job. You guys all did a great job. I didn't see hardly anybody even getting any wrong anywhere. It's amazing. Really, really good. Okay, you got your binary skills. Let's get some other skills. Our binary converting fools. This assignment here, Create with Scratch, is the one I want to take a look at right now. Let's make sure we're in good shape for our week here, because we kind of compressed it into today. So we've done our Find Instructor's Office. You guys don't need to worry about that one, because you did that today. We're gonna look at this Create with Scratch. Notice it's gonna be due a week from today before class. So in class a week from today, we want to show these to each other. We'll kind of present them. So we want to have them ready in a week. Tuesday night, though, there is a little quiz that's binary decimal conversions that's due. Okay. So do that sometime before Tuesday night. Now let's look at Scratch in this assignment. I'll show you. So click on this assignment. Now. Scratch is what's called like blocky programming. Remember that video I showed you the first day with Bill Gates and the guy from different, Will.i.am and everything? Coding is important. So Scratch was developed to try to teach coding concepts to younger and younger people. So it kind of gives us a way to do some basic games, and it's kind of a neat way for us to get started thinking about programming. Right now, Scratch is controlled by MIT. It wasn't actually developed by them, but they have authority over it right now. Now, if you look at the assignment, it's actually a discussion board. The reason being, when you get your Scratch game done, I want you to post a link to it to this discussion board so everybody else can see it and they can go try out your game when you get it done. Okay, so how can we get started? How do we make a game? Click here to go to the Scratch website, scratch.mit.edu. Now, when you go to Scratch, the first thing that you want to do is sign in so that as you create things, you can save them. So when you click sign in, see if it lets you just create an account right there.
Right next to it, join Scratch.
Join Scratch, that's what we want. Thank you. Join it. I'm going to sign in.
Is the Scratch, are you going to be like Scoot related?
No, you can make your username whatever you want.
Hey, the cat kind of looks like Felix the cat.
Doesn't he? He does. He looks just like him. Now I'm going to see if I can remember my login stuff.
be so old.
Why does it
Smells like
like
10.
It's not super.
This is the first thing I've ever learned.
Cool, you guys will do good then.
I love this.
Give us something to
So
see.
much.
You know what game blocks is?
I've never heard of it.
No, but I saw that you guys are using it. It looks really cool.
It's just like Scratch.
Is it?
You
That's what I
showed me
figured.
this visit.
I even thought about changing yours to this to game blocks because I saw what you guys were saying about it, but I thought, well, I'd rather you have two different ones. So
It's a really neat program though. You
Is
showed
it?
me how
Uh-huh.
it works.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
I didn't look
It's
at
cool to
very
see how,
much.
like, all those things gets translated into commands and something.
That is so neat. I'm glad Dr. Ford took that class over because they didn't used to do really anything. Okay, how's everybody doing? You got an account? Getting logged on?
Finally, it took a while for me to find it.
Getting there? Getting there? Yeah, there's a lot of people on it, so it can be hard to find a username.
I just did my school use.
Did you use, yeah, if you use your OTC name, you know that'll be unique.
Last month I found a notebook and it had my old password for Neopets from back in like 2008 and I accessed it and it said, your Neopets died, your
Oh,
account has been suspended
no.
for neglected. It's like, oh.
Dead Neopets.
Nah, it's gonna be like we create a program that interacts with each other.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Insane. I don't know if you can do that. This is actually you can call.
You can call a lot of things. I don't know if you can call other programs from scratch.
Yeah.
You guys are
I did literally. I
like,
did years, so. Oh, man, I'm so excited to go through it. I'm gonna be working until like hours.
I know, I'm so excited. Okay. Brent,
Are we in?
Yes.
I think so, hopefully.
Okay, so let's take a look at the menu across the top. With Scratch, this is called blocky code, and we can use like blocks of symbols to cause actions to occur, to cause Scratch to do things. But I want to kind of look at the website before we go do anything. Create is going to give us the development tools, the environment where we can use to create our program. I'm going to go back.
Hold on, it's not letting me do anything
I'm not
until
done, but
I
I have to confirm my email.
Oh, okay. So
It's
not letting you on.
letting me do.
Okay. See if it will let you do that.
Is this what you, is this what you did or did you?
It's us, right? Oh, boy.
Oh. Okay, now where do we put that?
Hold on. Mine won't let me confirm my email.
What's it do?
It's just
But the
stuck.
fact you can't say it, so.
Could you guys make that?
However, you just try.
You're so good.
I'm just looking at my own.
And click on it.
Oh my gosh, look at this page. Oh, this. Oh, yeah. I don't know if I can put that on my It looked interesting at first, and then I
So we were
clicked it,
looking
and it was
at
like,
this.
I was like, I'm over
Okay,
it.
let's look at Explore, the Explore link. Thank you guys for waiting. I think everybody's accounts are active. So if I click Explore, this is going to give me all sorts of Scratch games that have been created in the past. Now, they're under different categories, so I'm looking at all games. But if you decide that you want to do something that is more of a story, you could look at stories. You could create a storyboard in Scratch.
Why you know Melton Rain?
Huh?
I'm reading one of that says, why you know Melton Rain? That looks like it. could
You
be a
sweet as
platform.
sugar. Not a good one. It looks like bad art.
Scared storyboarding thing.
Yeah. And then let's click ideas. The ideas link has tutorials. Tutorials, remember, help you learn how to use Scratch. So when you come here to ideas, you can choose tutorials and look at different ways of doing things. So if you decide that you want to do some sort of puzzle, that's what you would like to create, you can find a tutorial that does some sort of puzzle. So like right here is a tutorial on how to make something happen when somebody clicks on something, a clicker game. The Make Music tutorial would show you how to include sound files and things if somebody clicked on something. So all of these different tutorials start out pretty basic, but if you keep looking, you can find some that are pretty advanced too. So these tutorials, they've tried to just give you basic things. And I'm going to go back. Try to get to that main Scratch screen. There it is. About, it's just going to tell you about Scratch. So if there's anything that you want to know, you can find out. Now, where your username is, there's a drop-down arrow. That drop-down arrow is important because, first of all, it has a link to your profile, but the important link is My Stuff. And My Stuff would be projects that you have worked on or saved. So you can see I have a bunch of partial junk because I'll show people how to get started and then I don't ever do anything with it. But I can see them all. So this is where I find everything. All right, so let's create something. I want to create a little something. And to start with right now, this area of the screen are all the code blocks I can use to make something happen. This part of the screen is where my code blocks are going to go that I'm using. This will be where my code is that I'm developing to make my action happen. Over here is my window that's showing me the result of executing my code. Right now, Scratch is just sitting there. Down here are the resources that are part of this project. Right now, Scratch is the only sprite that's in this project, but I could add more using that add button. So if I wanted to add some pictures of mine, something like that, I could. Or I could look at the ones that are already available. There's lots of them that are already available. So kind of explore things there. Then this last little area right here is my stage. Right now my stage has a blank backdrop. I want to change it to something else. I could upload something. I'll search for some things. Here's all the stages. Let's see, I'm going to make Scratch walk around this colorful city, I guess. So now he's got the city. Now I want him to do something. So I'm going to find a motion code block. And the very first one says move 10 steps. Well, that looks good. I would like for this to happen when I click play or go. See this green flag? That's my go button. So somehow I need to tell this code to start running when that green flag is clicked. Right over here. See it? Right above the Scratch window. You see it? So if you look over here on the side, I want to find events. And in my events, I see this event that is when the green flag is clicked. So I'm going to drag that and connect it to my move 10 steps code. Now, if I click that green flag, you should see my Scratch guy move 10 steps. Now, 10 steps are pretty relevant to the scene, right? He's not moving very far. So if I wanted to move further, I can change that number 10 in there. I could make it 150. And then I can start it again. He's disappeared. Trying to make it full screen. Where'd he go? He's off the screen. Somewhere there's a reset. So I'm going to try some other things. After you moved 150 steps, I want to go back to my motion code blocks. And let's say I want to make him turn. I'll say I want you to turn not 15 degrees, maybe 90 degrees. And then I'll have him turn 90 degrees again to kind of turn around. And now if I run it, I should see him turning.
It says move motion block.
Click on motion up here.
Yeah, you said your son doesn't back up. You can't move your direction. Just like your spreader.
See it? Now, what if I wanted him to do that over and over and over and over?
Repeat, repeat.
Repeat? So where would repeat be?
Behind Pete.
Is it on our motion section? Or is it in our control section? It's in our control section, right? And so I could repeat that 10 times if I wanted. Notice how the repeat will kind of grab things. And now everything that's inside that repeat is going to happen 10 times. I'll try my little green flag again. Can't see him. I'm going to go ahead and save. And when I click save now, whoops, I clicked the wrong thing. Let me cancel. That's why I don't do that. I don't want to click the folder. I want to click save now. And it saved my project. But it saved my project as Untitled 8. It would probably be better if I gave it a better name. Sample, scratch. And then it saved it automatically. Okay, so your assignment is pretty open-ended. Some ideas here. I want you to look at tutorials and get some ideas for what you want to do. Make sure that your scope is reasonable. That means don't try to create a game that's going to take you 80 hours between now and next Thursday, because you'll probably be in a really bad mood to do that, right? So try to limit yourself to something that's reasonable with the amount of time you have. Second of all, make it something that we're all going to be interested in. This one time, I had this student who created a 45-minute scratch, never-ending demo that was like the birth of Christ or something. And he couldn't understand why I wasn't just overjoyed to watch his 45-minute scratch creation. And I did not think that that was a useful use of my time. So, you know, we don't want it to be this giant, never-ending story type thing. We would like a nice game that everybody can interact with a little bit, but it could also be a storyboard, be an animation, if you want it to be something like that. So anything. Try to use some of these control options. Try to not just copy one of the little demos. As your instructor, I've seen a lot of those, and I won't call you out on it, but everybody will know that it was just one of the little demos. So if you're not feeling confident and you want to use one of the little demos, great, but do change it up. Make it yours, because everybody's going to see all of those tutorials. Questions? How do you post it then to the discussion board? After you've saved it and you're all ready, you're going to click share. When you click share, it's going to take you to a new URL. You want to copy that URL. It should be something about a project with that project number. Notice how mine says projects and then my project number. If it says edit, you're in the wrong place and nobody's going to be able to see your scratch. You must save it first and then you can share it. Now I'm going to take this URL that I've copied, and this is what I will post to the discussion board for everybody to be able to see it, okay? So if you're done, post it to the discussion board so we can look at it. If you're not going to be done until Thursday right before class, we'll see it then. Okay, so you guys have about 25 minutes to work on it. You are welcome to get out of here if you'd rather work on it at home. You're welcome to stay here if you want to explore things here. I look forward to seeing them next week.
And when is the quiz due by Thursday too?
No, Tuesday. I just made the scratch one Thursday because it's kind of special.
Is it the week 2 binary?
Yes, week 2 binary. Yeah, if you want to just get that quiz done before you go, that would be a good idea too. And you have a 3-day weekend. How awesome.
You have a good weekend too.
So excited.
Hey, what is
Is everybody on the Discord? Don't forget, because other people might need you.
I have to be, because I'm in the game programming.
Mine's Logan show.
No.
He's so nice.
Better than some things I've been.
My boyfriend also uses his name. He doesn't know how to spell. This looks like he's actually enrolled in the first year. And it's his last name. It's so confusing. And finally he's like,
Okay, how do you spell your last?
well, I guess
R-I-N. G-E-M.
G-E-M?
G-E-M. Also, that's my
I'm so
personal.
excited to
So.
I'm glad you It's the only time.
Yeah,
I know, it is. And I really think we could probably do more with it. But once you guys get into Python, you won't really want to mess with it anymore. You'll be like, oh, that old stuff. Don't want to do that anymore. You're welcome. Thank you. You could use those. That would be great. Just don't use the calculator. No, we want a new one. You probably lost lots of skills since then. You could show us both. And you could say, when did you make it? Were you like a sophomore or something?
Yeah.
So you could say, this was my sophomore mind.
Yay! What I want to be when I grow up.
When we're doing writing one in decimal, is it proper to just write one or do you do zero? Because I know the zeros in front of it don't matter.
They don't matter.
So you just do one.
Mhm. It depends on what you were doing. Because like if you were in a certain situation where you were documenting something and they wanted you to put all 8 bits, then you would put the zeros, but in general you wouldn't.
I'll fix that. I made something. I don't know what I think something is